country's largest car maker, Maruti Suzuki, all set to launch its new SUV on the 20th of this month. Speaking to Business Today TV's Chetan Bhutani, Shashank Srivastav, Senior Executive Director at Maruti Suzuki, mentioned about the launch, its sales numbers for the month of June. Maruti, remember, sold a total of 1,55,857 units last month. That's a growth of 5% versus June last year. Here's a slice of that conversation.
Tell us about the numbers. Witnessing a growth of 5%. Exports also going good. Give us a highlight of the numbers.
Yeah, so actually the number are relatively flat when you compare with the May month, and also when you compare it with last year. However, last year we had a full month of production, and this year it's slightly different because we had a maintenance shutdown. Our factory was closed for a week, so there is some effect of non-availability as far as production is concerned. We have a good number of pending bookings, as you know, almost 300,000. So going forward, we hope that we'll increase the production and try to increase the numbers from here. Also, for the industry, this was a good quarter because this quarter the sale was almost 909,000. This is followed by a Q4 of last year financial year, which was 922,000. So there are two consecutive quarters of 900,000 plus. I think that's the first time ever in Indian auto industry. So there is some issues relating to semiconductor supply, but still I think the demand parameter seems to be holding good at the moment.
With Maruti expanding its portfolio from Brezza, there has been a lot of hue and cry, especially over social media, that when is the Jimny coming? There's been all raised up excitement about that. So that's why I'm seeking an answer, because every time I ask you this question,
so definitely I'll answer this question. First of all, we have said this before that we will be focusing on SUV segment in a big way. And the reason also is we have mentioned before is that while in the non-SUV space our market share is 65% plus, which is a very healthy market share, and it's also the highest we have had for the last 20 years. But when you combine it with SUV market share, our overall market share falls below 50%, which is the objective which we always have, 50% of the market. So one of the key reasons for that is our it's not a great market share that we have in the SUV segment. Of course, we are still number one player in the B segment for the last 5 years, including the last year. However, our market share is around 20%. So while we are market leaders with 20%, when you compare it with 65% of non-SUV market share, it is obviously pulling down the overall market share. And therefore, we had launched the Brezza, which is the market leader in the entry SUV segment. So that is a very large part of the SUV segment. The next largest part is the mid SUV segment, which is 18% of the overall market. And that segment is basically for a larger SUV, maybe a 4.3 meter type of SUV. And that is what we are going to launch very shortly. We will be unveiling the same in July, on July 20th actually, we will be unveiling that. And it has two powertrains, the strong hybrid and the mild hybrid powertrain. The full production of that model, however, will start in August. But on 20th July, we will unveil it. And that is another foray into a segment where we have almost no presence. And therefore, that is an important part of our SUV journey. The next few ones, including the Jimny, which you are referring to, we had showcased the Jimny in the 2020 Auto Expo. We collected some extremely good feedback, and right now we are finalizing our marketing plans for that, including the date of launch, etc.
So July 20th, we are not expecting the Jimny to be coming up, or it will be an entire new vehicle from Maruti?
No, it will be an entire new vehicle from Maruti Suzuki, which will come up on 20th July.